Namaskar dosto. Today I'm going to speak on the topic why government bring privatization in PSU sectors. Why government believe in privatization? First of all, we should understand what is the privatization. When any organization purchase of a stock of public trades, that is called privatization. And what is the demand? Why the government do this type of privatization? Because privatization is to be increase the finance of reducing the spending of government, which is very important for the government and in a respect of the finance sector. And the total amount of privatization is to be increase the government stability in a finance sector. And what is the benefit of the privatization? Is to be that the government, the administration will be a very smooth and very strong, because if we saw the advantage of being privatization is less political drama in private sectors, and the competition will be increased, and the saving of taxpayer money and the job increasing also be a very good factor, because private company hire a large number of employee in every years and with low incomes. And if we're talking about the government sector is not capable to give the money to their employer, because the working condition is not good. If we are watching the BSNL condition today, how much the government give the fund for BSNL, and the main factor of the BSNLs, the government and the government employer is not working as up to mark like a private employer working in their company. So the government always think that being a private is increase the work efficiency in our country, and every aspect which is a demand they will be fulfilled on the times, because competition will be high. Many companies will come to take the tender first. So it is the directly progress of the country and increase the government fund, which is a very important to spending in other progressive work, which is a government running by their own hand, and administration is a very important thing in our time. So government always want the administrative the process on their important factors, not in every aspects, because government spend a lot of money in the many companies, which is not good. But if we thinking that what is the disadvantage of being privatized and PSU, the first is less transparency, because if you give something to anybody, it means you give the responsibility to other people to handle this particular things. So if the things between me and other person is only that we are just sharing money, we have no any the hindrance rules and regulations which is under by the private company. So I think the less transparency also be a point come out in the being privatized, and not much but little few, and a lot of government employee will lose their jobs maybe, but not clear at this time. So if any private company will purchase any public sector, then public sector will work like a private company, and the work phase and the regulations, rules and regulation made by the private owner which is running the company. And I think that it will be a very good factor, because private company always work in very disciplined mode. If we are talking about the government sector, people never think like they are working on their jobs. People not I'm talking about what the private company always working like a force, because they always want very good efficiency from the employers, from the employees, and the HR department of private companies are very strict, and they always take care of their employee, how do they work in their environment, and they note down each and everything. And if talking about government sector people are became very lazy, they don't do any work, and what is the problem will generate? It will generate directly on the government funds, because if you are not providing the essential service on time, the government will suffer, because people will not trust you, and people will do some other things in respect of your company. If talking about the BSNL, what is the condition for the BSNL? If you're talking about the BSNL, if your data is not running, if you are going in the BSNL office, they never listen you. The fact is they never listen you what the problem will you are facing at this time. And in this times, people just enjoying their company with the people, and sometimes BSNL do the hard work. If 20 to 30% people in the BSNL is very hardworking, and today if BSNL getting payment and getting fund by their own shoulders, who working very hard in their company. So I think the BSNL company is not down by the government. It's down by their own efforts. They are not give the 100% efforts. If like me, if I purchase the BSNL SIM and I recharge something 250 approx, and I think that data will be provided in a good manner and data speeds will be very good, because at this times everything is digitalized. If you are filling a form, then you will be using the net banking. If you are taking admission in any institutions, then you using the internet payment. And at this times, sometimes people are in a last date, and last date the payment will comes, and but the BSNL internet will not forecast properly, as 4G will running other companies like Jio and Airtel. So the problem is that if you are complaining that your internet is not working properly, they never listen to you properly, they never give you service very perfectly. So I think the people lost their belief on the BSNL. So I think today BSNL is going down, and government will not do any such things to handle this thing, because every sector make the belief to their customers. If they are not able to make such a belief to their customers, then they should be privatized, because private company will handle very perfectly, because government have a lot of workforce, and if government provide your fund, and then you should run your public sector with on your shoulders. Every employee or every officer has a responsibility to lead their public sector in a very fine mode. If you are not doing such things in their time, then government will have no option. Government always demands some output from their own sectors, but if you are not providing the good efficiency in front of the government, then government will have just one option. They never going in a minus. They want to plus. So plus, where the plus will come from? It's come from the private companies, private owners. They purchase this public sector and they pay the government. The fund, government will strong financially. Then government will make another thing which is important for the people. So I think that is the time where the government thinking about privatization to various public sector, because it is the need of the government. If people not work, then public sector will become privatized. So I think the making private any public sector, it's not a loss. It's just a hand over these things to a disciplined person who just want to grow up. And in a private company, people are very disciplined. People do the work on their times, and people achieve the target within the time. So this is the process in the private company, and everyone want to be a good output. So private company give the good efficiency, increase the competition in the market, which give the credit to the government in respect of finance, and many things will come in front of us. Many media channels will point it out that do privatization is a wrong thing, but it's a not wrong thing. It's a very good thing to the making good finance for the government. But I don't know, many people think that a lot of corruption will happen in these situations. Maybe, but my point of view, making some public sector private is a good option, because I know many government employees lost their jobs, but private company also provide the jobs. If you are good for their work, then they will never refuse you, and will take care of them who are working previously. So I think that is no any good point, or and there is any no minus point which will lead you in negativity. But at this times, making private any PSUs is the right approach by the government. I think you will understand my point, where I conclude in various point of views. And if you are new on my channels, please subscribe my channels and share with your friends, so they can help from my videos in their upcoming interviews and GDs. So please subscribe and like my channels. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Jai Hind.